Good morning. Very happy to be here. Shalom, shalom. And I'm ready to follow you.
Thank you. Thank you. How is the weather today in Brazil?
It's a cloudy day, yet, but the temperature it's a warm day, but there is a lot of clouds. A gray. The sky is gray.
Hmm. And here the sun is shining. It's a very beautiful day, and it is also we are sharing very good air at the moment. So the air quality is very good. The trees are green. It's a spring day, and everything is so beautiful that I would like to share everything with you.
Oh yes. Uh, I would like to be there in Israel because I prefer the sunshine.
You're welcome. You're welcome to join us here with Lisiane, Yoyachin. Everybody is invited.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Philip. Good afternoon, Victoria. Hope you can hear us. Here's Victoria. Good afternoon, Victoria. We're very happy that you're here. And good afternoon, Philip. I hope you can hear us. And we have another friend, Geoffrey, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right. Please correct me. And if you don't have questions, I would like to move to the whiteboard. Unless if you have something. Rodrigo, would you like to say something, to share, to ask?
No, it's just ready to follow you in the whiteboard with the pictures and the tests.
Thank you so much. So here we are at the whiteboard. I hope you can see also on YouTube. We have few verses from the book of Esther, chapter 2. Now at the moment we are looking for a volunteer to read the English text. Philip, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Sorry, had some speaker or headphone problems for a second there.
No, it's
How are you
okay.
doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. How is the weather today?
It's fine today, thanks.
We're very happy. And do you see the
Quite
text?
average.
Yes, good to hear. And do you see the text on the
Uh,
whiteboard?
the text is just loading up for me now.
Okay, so I will focus here on the text, the English text, and please tell me if you can see the letters clearly.
Yes.
Thank you. If you're ready, we can start.
Would you like me to read it?
Yes, if possible.
Yeah. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was assuaged, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, Let there be sought for the king young virgins fair to look on, and let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the castle, to the house of the women, unto the custody of Haggai the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their ointments be given them. And let the maiden that pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so. There was a certain Jew in Shushan the castle, whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captives that had been carried away with Jeconiah king of Judah, whom give me a second, Nebuchadnezzar,
Yes.
the king of Babylon, had carried away. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maiden was of beautiful form and fair to look on. And when her father and mother were dead, Mordecai took her for his own daughter. So it came to pass, When the king's commandment and his decree was published, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the castle, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was taken into the king's house, to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her her ointments with her portions, and the 7 maidens, who were meet to be given her out of the king's house. And he advanced her and her maidens to the best place in the house of the women.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your reading, and good morning, Felipe, and good morning, Fernando. We are very happy that you're here. Now, who would like to summarize what Philip just read? What is the context? Did you hear? Did you follow? Did you read by yourselves? Or maybe Philip, would you like to summarize the verses here? What is happening here? Yes? Do you have a microphone? Can you speak? Hello?
I do.
Yes? Can you summarize, please, for us what is happening in those verses? Just a little frame.
Just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
May I help, Etty?
Yes, yes.
No, just to say that the king Ahashverosh is looking for a virgin, a woman to him, and they bring a lot of women to the king, and there is a woman called Hadassah,
Mm-hmm.
which is Esther, and she was how can I say a nephew from Mordecai, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is is well, I can summarize in this way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now let us focus in one verse, the 9th verse. Who would like to read in Hebrew or in English again? Because this is the focus of our discussion today, or conversation. Who would like to read verse 9 in English or in Hebrew again? Yes?
I would have to do it in English.
Yes, please.
And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her her ointments with her portions, and the 7 maidens, who were meet to be given her out of the king's house. And he advanced her and her maidens to the best place in the house of the women.
Thank you so much. So here we hear about 7 maidens that's supposed to help or assist her. And when you think, now this is open question to everyone, including those who participate on YouTube and can write if they wish. When you hear the term or you see the term 7 maidens, or in Hebrew, 1 second, Sheva Hane'arot, 7 maidens. I'm sorry, it's cut here on the Hebrew side. When you read about the 7 maidens, what comes to your mind?
The first thing I thought, actually, not to make it literal, but I had the 7 sisters pop into my mind, which is a star cluster in the sky called the Pleiades.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing that actually came to mind.
Good, good. And Rodrigo and Jeffrey and Fernando and Felipe and Victoria, when you hear 7 maidens, the term in English or in any other language, what comes to your mind?
Well, as the same way that Philip mentioned, I think 7 sisters or something like that, 7 women to serve the future queen, but with the support that our classes, I can relate it with the seven Sephirots also. Now I can do this relation, but in how can I say, the first impression, the first uh, time that I read,
Mm-hmm.
I have the tendency to literalize to the literal meaning. I have the tendency to think in seven women, but now I can figure, I can understand that this, in a symbolic way, will be related with the tree of life.
Thank you, thank you. And here I shall read a few comments from YouTube. Venus, good morning. Venus writes menorah, and Jeffrey writes, what came to my mind is the name Eti because of the number 7, and Victoria says maybe aspects or qualities. Very good. Uh, Philip writes the creation. Felipe Tedesco writes, dear Eti, this topic is really interesting. I cannot help to think about the women that appears in Exodus chapter 1 and 2. Okay, so far maybe Fernando would like to participate. Maybe Fernando can speak.
Shalom, Auntie.
Shalom, shalom.
Friends.
Good morning.
Good evening, Auntie. Good evening. Yeah. It is beautiful, Auntie. I agree with everything that was said. I would like just to add that came to me the idea that the first relationship of the king Rosh Verosh
Yes.
maybe was a back-to-back relationship. It was a chaotic relationship, like the first creation.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have now we have like the second creation and the manifestation of the seven sephirots, like what Rodrigo said. I don't know if it's the same structure, the same pattern, maybe the same blueprint of the idea of creation.
Thank you so much.
Just one idea.
It's excellent. It's an excellent one, and of course that all of you are right. And now I would like to share with you also similar perspective. Let's move here to the whiteboard, and who would like to describe us what do we see here? This is a painting from the mid 15th century. Who would like to read? What is the name of this painting? In English, who would like to read?
Seven liberal arts by Francesco Pesellino. Arithmetic, geometry, music, astrology, logic, rhetoric, and grammar.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And here, if we shall focus, and everybody can find this painting, I think, on Wikipedia page. If we can focus on each and every, what do we see here in general? In general, without going to details, who would like to describe us? In general.
7 ladies.
7 ladies, each one. How does she appear? Sitting, standing? What do they hold? Each one, just in general.
They're all acting out what their word represents.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They're sitting where? Where do they sit?
On a white marble.
Yes. Yes. And who sit at their feet? Are they sitting just 7 maidens on the marble?
We have seven men.
Very good. Very good. It's not clear why the 7 maidens are sitting in a higher space and their volume is a bit larger than the 7 men that they sit next to their feet. It's not clear. And also the 7 men, if we just focus, also each one holds something in his hand.
it looks like it, if I may,
Yes.
that the maids are inspiration to the
Yes.
man below, as how can I say, the word above and the word below. They are the ladies belongs to the invisible word, or something, that the supernal word, and the man belongs to the material word, something like that.
So there is a man, Sapir, and there's a lady, a maiden, Sphira. Sapir is the stone. Sphira is the feminine. So we have a unification between masculine and feminine. This is what you're offering?
Yes, yes.
Yes?
And it looks like, yes, and it looks like that the ladies belongs to a how can I say, to above place, to um, the unmanifested.
Eh,
Yes, yes, please, Fernando.
the ladies look like a muse, you know,
Yes,
like the.
yes, yes.
This is beautiful because the artist needs a muse, you know, like the
Mm-hmm.
inspiration,
Yes,
right?
yes. Now, I would like, before we continue, so in general, you describe like seven ladies or seven, how do you say, inspirations? Yes, this is the general. And there are beneath them men, and each one in his realm. Now, I would like to ask you, what is the relation between those seven ladies or muse and the seven maidens that the book of Esther speak about? What is the relation between this painting and the seven maidens? Is the book of Esther in general speak about seven ladies? This is the question. What is the relation between them? If and now, if Esther, what is the meaning of the name Esther?
Secret of the Aleph,
Secret of the Aleph, the hidden.
the
So,
hidden.
yes. So the hidden has what? Seven
Layers.
yes, seven layers or seven maidens or seven spheres to express the hidden. Again, what we read about here in the book of Esther is the hidden is taken to the house of the king, and with the hidden, as you mentioned, Fernando, this is the second creation with mercy. And when the hidden is taken to the house of the king, with the hidden, seven spheres are being taken. Seven spheres, or Sheva Midot, or seven maidens. Because the new world, the creation that will survive, is built on seven. Like we see here, seven columns. Between them, there's a column, like the Bible says that the earth is standing on seven columns, and we have another painting which is waiting for us to discuss. The question is, at the moment, do we see? Yes, here Felipe. Yes, Felipe is writing the seven women that helped Moshe, and after this, the seven daughters of Jethro. Yes, very good. And Venus is writing teacher, disciples of art. Yes, yes. Questions so far? Yes.
One thing that is nice to see about this idea of the muse or the seven aspects I think Rodrigo also likes an author, a medieval author that is called Henry Conrad. He was like alchemist.
Mhm.
And the way that he speaks about uh, the Sophia, the divine logos, it is like a woman that you need to take care, because if you are not pure and if you do not treat this divine Sophia well, like a woman,
Mhm.
being present and giving attention and everything that is related with this relationship, she goes away. It is
Yes.
like Shekinah,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. Excellent. Excellent.
Because yesterday you were talking it that we tend to think that the thoughts are our thoughts,
Yes,
right?
that's correct. That's correct. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But it's not.
It's not our thoughts and not our dreams. Nothing. Nothing. Not even our senses. Our ability to see, to smell, to touch is not ours. Our thoughts, the way we relate to the world is not ours. It's ability that is given to us for a while. Nothing is ours. This is what soon, Venus, I will read your words. This is what also Philon says regarding the difference between Cain and Abel. Hevel from Hav El, give to God or relate to God. So Hevel relates everything to God. Whatever he sees, notices, everything comes from God and goes back to God, returns. While Cain annexes everything to himself. This is the difference between them, as Philon describes in his book. Yes, thank you, Fernando. And Venus is writing more than one way to view with the book of Esther. Hadassah is myrtle tree, one of the 7 trees of Isaiah. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. When Jill was reading for us from the book of Weinreb, Hadassah is myrtle. Yes, yes. Questions so far before we move to the next painting? Questions? Rodrigo, Fernando, Philip, questions that you would like to ask? If not, because we can discuss about this painting a lot, because there's so many details there, it's fascinating. But for the moment, we shall move to another one here. And this is former in time, 300, I think, years before. Who would like to describe us? What do we see here? I hope also on YouTube there is a good reflection of the painting here. Who would like to describe us? What do we see here? We need a volunteer, a courageous volunteer at the moment. If we don't have, yes?
Oh, I believe.
Yes.
Please, Fernando, go ahead. Please, no, Fernando, you will be better. Go ahead.
No.
Please.
We can see the seven muses, or the
Yes.
7 aspects, the 7
Yes.
midot.
Mm-hmm.
And in the center, we can see like the divine Sophia, maybe with 3
Yes.
heads,
Yes.
with a crown of 3 heads.
Yes, it's interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
And we can see below her Socrates and Plato
Yes.
writing.
Yes.
Eti,
Yes.
if I may, this picture remind me the Sefer Yetzirah,
Yes.
when the book described the 22 letters from the Hebrew alphabet. and divide the letters three, the mothers, Aleph, Mem, and Shin. And we
Yes.
have in the middle of the picture three persons, Socrates, Plato, and the Sophia, the Filo Sofia, and the crown has three faces.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the seven, I don't know in English the expression, but in double letters in Portuguese is seven duplas or
Mm-hmm.
double letters. And then we have the other 12, it's called in Portuguese the simple letters.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the in the Sefer Yetzirah, the Hebrew alphabet is divided in three mothers, seven double or couple letters,
Mm-hmm.
and 12 single letters. And this picture shows to us in the center, in the middle of the picture, the three, and then the seven. I believe that the 12 could be the next circle in this picture, something like that, just to
Yes.
mention.
Yes, very good. So why Philosophia? Here the name, yes, the name of the maiden. Here Venus, I enlarged the painting here that you will be able to see the center. Who is in the center? Her name is Philosophia. Philosophia, yes. And she has a crown. I hope you can see here on YouTube. She has a crown of 3 heads. Now the question is, in terms of spheres, what are those 3 heads stand for? Which spheres?
Keter, Chochmah, and Binah.
Yes, Keter, Chochmah, and Binah, crown, wisdom, and understanding. Those are the 3 heads that crown, that make together the crown of Philosophia. The people who love wisdom, Philosophia, yes. And beneath her are sitting Socrates, yes, and Plato, and they are writing. And circling are the 7 maidens, or the 7 liberal arts, yes. And each one, you notice here, there's a column, like 7 columns on which the earth is standing. Those are the 7. So here we have the 7 midot, like Fernando was mentioning, and the 3 heads. In a way, Fernando, sometimes you read, I think, Ashlag, yes? So when you read Ashlag, or when you read articles of Hasidut, you will find the 3 uppers. They have the name Gar de Binah. Those are the 3 minds. And sometimes Zat de Binah. Those are the 7 lowers, midot. Zat, Zain is 7. Those are the lowers. We have 7. So sometimes you will find Gar. What does it mean, Gar? Gimel Rishonot, the first 3 upper spheres, and Zain Tachtonot, the 7 lower. We always have 3 higher, this is the mind, and 7 lower, Zat de Binah. If you read Ashlag and articles in Hasidut, those are the terms that they are using. But here we see already this division in the, I think, mid-12th century. Questions so far?
I also noticed not only 3 heads on the crown, but there's also 3 people inside the center circle with the 7 maidens on the outside.
Again?
I also noticed that in the center circle, there's not only the 3 heads on the crown, but we also have 3 people inside of the center circle.
Yes.
With 7 maidens outside.
Yes. So the 3 people are Philosophia, the Virgin. She is the Virgin. in this case. She's the crown, and the two, like the father and the mother, are Socrates and Plato. This is interesting. Not just that she has 3 heads, we also see like yes, bodies of wisdom. Thank you so much for this comment. Questions so far?
It is beautiful that it is showing how the divine logos manifests through the midot, right?
Yes, through the midot. That's correct.
And yesterday
Yes.
we were talking at night here in Brazil about the book of Zohar, and we read a reference to the Psalm 133 that
Yes.
speaks about the oil, that the precious oil that came down from the head and the bird of Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
and the expression that we have about this going down of this oil is al pi midotaiv.
Mm-hmm.
So just came this idea that this shaman that is equal shaman. Also, Felipe said yesterday, we must remember that shaman and shaman is the same gematria. It came down to this plan through the midots, right? To the seven, through the seven.
Yes, it fits the light, the shaman, like Shemaim, comes or being poured according to the measures, midot, according to the vessels. Midah is also a measure, but also a vessel. So according, the abundance comes according to our vessels. Everything is in measure. Yes.
So, what sort of connection do we have with all of the ladies and their words?
You mean the 7? The first, you mean geometry and arithmetics? This is the question?
Yes, but it did look similar in the second one as well. I believe they had the same words with them there as well.
Excuse me, you ask what is the connection between?
So, what was the relation with the ladies and these headers of theirs? The subjects that's, yes, the words to them, the connection with that.
Each maiden represents a field. I'm not sure that I understand your question.
Yeah, so yeah, the overall connection with their fields
Yes.
or areas.
Yes, of education or inspiration. The 7 maidens that are taken with the hidden to the house of the king, to the new creation, is like 7 fields. Do you understand or not yet? Fernando, can you explain what was the second creation?
And in one leg, like it said, the tradition says that we have 2 creations.
Yes.
The first creation, it's called like it's Tzimtzum Aleph. It's
Yes.
the first manifestation. And this first manifestation is called the world of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is called this way because the vessels doesn't communicate the vessels only receive the light and they like explode.
Yes.
They could not support the light. So it was needed a second creation, that is this Tzimtzum Bet, and this is why the Torah starts with the letter Bet. And this second creation worked because of the mercy of the Creator, and also because the vessels were communicating. They were sharing the light and not retaining the light. So this is why this creation endured.
Thank
That's
you, sir.
cool.
Yes. They're turning to each other. The spheres are turning to each other. There is a sharing. Not everybody takes the light into his vessel and like run or uses his power to govern others, but there is a relation and sharing, and with this creation the world can stand. And here we see this expression because we see here 7 maidens or 7 spheres. Each one, how do you say, come and interacts with the world. There is an inspiration, but the inspiration comes from infinite, but expresses itself in its beauty and its fullness in the world. There's a turning. Each one turns to the world, and then the world can stand. This is the relation, because the maidens are not here. The book of Esther does not speak about physical people or helpers or assistants, like we see that there's a secretary and she has a secretary or so. This is not about it. This is the second story of creation. The world can stand if there's a hidden component. And the hidden component expresses its secret in 7 different measures, or 7 liberal arts. And here we see the 7.
Okay, beautiful. So these 7 here are options, just to clarify. It's not that these are particularly the most important or anything like that.
What do you mean by important?
So these 7 here that we have aren't particularly the most important to encompass the world. They're just options for us, yeah? As if to say that there's more than just these 7 subjects or areas. Would that be right?
This is, let's put it like this, as Philon mentioned in his book. Those are the 7 fields of elementary education.
Elementary, okay.
Now in the Middle Ages, when this the later Middle Ages, when this painting was made, this became like education in universities, because we see the rising of universities in the Middle Ages. But Philon, who lived, let's say 1500 years before this painting was made in those times, according to Philon writings, this is elementary education. Elementary.
Yes. Base level.
Yes, base level. And above this, people who graduate from this education, they have accomplished arithmetics, geometry, musica, astrologia, logica, rhetorics, and grammar. Above this, you can speak to them about the divine logos, meaning there is here logica. One of the fields is logica, but a person has to complete, or a child has to complete the 7 fields, and then we can train their minds in an abstract thinking. Before a person accomplish these 7 fields, you cannot speak to them about the divine logos or the hidden, This is why Esther, according to the book of Esther, she is taken to the palace, to the house of the king, with the 7. But the 7 is the basic. And the verse says here to bestow. The verse speak here about making everything better. And the 7 maidens which are worthy to be given to her from the house of the king. And those maidens, they make everything better. This is what the Hebrew says here. So, the first stage of education is to learn those 7 fields or area, and then people are ready to deal with the hidden or the divine
Nice.
logos. Yes? Yes. Yes.
That's cool.
Questions? Rodrigo, Fernando,
It-
Felipe.
Just
Yes.
one, we could say so. These 7 um, basic educations are the vessel, right?
Yes. Yes.
And it's interesting because this 7 was divided in the former education of that time
Yes.
in trivium and quadrivium. It was
Yes.
the 3 and the 4, you know.
Yes. Yes.
So the vessel is the 3 and the 4 to manifest the 5, right?
Yes. Yes. It was divided between the trivium, between the 3 and the 4. The hardcore 4, arithmetics, geometry, yes, musica and astrology, and the 3 are the higher, yes, the 3 and the 4. It is interesting that in the Middle Ages, before the Renaissance, we see the division of 3 and 4, and this is considered to be a higher education, while in the time of Philon, this is a basic elementary education. In classical times, at the end of classical time, we see it is interesting, but what now we appreciate as university education was elementary education in the classical times. It is interesting because we think that we are wiser, we have phones, but it's not as we think it is.
Yes. It's interesting because now we are far from the basic as well, you know. Even the basic is far away from us.
Yes.
And I can remember one class from Daniel met, and where he make a research about the light and the science and its relation with Kabbalah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he gets a paper from Leibniz. I'm not sure if it is from Leibniz, but he speaks that about that paper, and the paper was directed for the elementary school of that time. And nowadays, it's difficult for us to understand how in that time, it was not far from now, the elementary school could have such a profound discuss about the importance of light, the nature of light, and everything. And now we know some formulas, but the philosophy behind the ideas we lost completely, I think.
Yes, yes, it is true. Yes, we lost a connection to the origin. That's correct. Thank you. Questions, Rodrigo, Philip, Venus, Felipe, Victoria, questions?
I have a question, Eti.
Yes.
In your point of view, why those knowledges, those sciences were represented by women.
If you look very carefully, there is a division between women and men. What comes to me when I saw the painting, this beautiful painting, is that in Hebrew we have a term for the stone and for, I will explain, yes? And you will associate with this. 1 second. In Hebrew we have sapir. Sapir is the name of the stone. In English we say sapphire. Sapphire, I'm not sure how to express it in English. We say sapir. Sapir, this is the stone like a diamond. Sapir. This is the masculine form in Hebrew. If we add the feminine letter He at the end, we have sephira. In English, sphere. I'm not sure that I'm writing it in the right, how do you say? Is it the right, did I write it well in English? Sphere? Fernando?
That's good.
That's good. So we have sapir, sapir as stone, meaning the masculine form in Hebrew, and we have sephira, sphere, the field of radiation. This is feminine. So here we see, in a way, I will make this. This is sephira, feminine, sphere, feminine, the expression. Or the field of radiation. Sorry, the page just... I'll write it again. It's a good question. Very good, Felipe. Expression. Sephira. But here, the masculine, this is the stone, this is the sapir, this is the core. The core is masculinum, the core is a stone, like a diamond, and this is masculinum, or male. This is the stone, and this is the radiation, like sapir. Let's say that sapir is, how do you say? Let's say this is a diamond, and this is the light, the radiation, the field of light. So the field is feminine, but the stone itself is masculine. Do you see, Felipe? Does it make any sense? Felipe, do you hear?
Yes, Etienne, I'm seeing.
Let's say we don't think in those terms, but the Hebrew thinks in those terms. Let's say we have a ring, and there's a diamond ring, like a stone. So the stone here, in a way, this is a masculine, but since it's diamond, it lets the light radiates, and the fields of light that comes from the stone is feminine. But the source is masculine. Zachar. Zachar. So, Zachar, Nekeva, feminine. The field is feminine. The source of the origin is masculine. This is why the artist, he is amazing. we see not just the 7 fields, but the origin.
Yes.
In a way, Rodrigo described the fact that this is interesting, that those are the 7 muses, and they are inspiring the artists that are writing. Also, this is interesting. The Hebrew, according to the Hebrew letters, we see that in everything there is feminine and masculine. The hidden is little. You see, the male is little. This is the source of the origin. And the expression is in the feminine. I hope that this idea is understood. And 7 plus 7 is 14, or 1 to 4. Because we have 7 expressions, or 7 fields, and we have 7 origin. Does it make any sense? Hello, can you hear me, dears?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
In the book
And
of... Yes? Yes, Felipe?
no, just there are so many relations with this this aspect of the 7 and the vessel, and but I didn't think about this as those trivium and quadrivium, and it's just it gives us many things to meditate and to establish relations as well. So I'm just thinking about this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Venus, for your writing. Yes. Questions? Fernando, Rodrigo, Philip, Victoria?
Just come to notice actually that the males down the bottom of the picture seem to be learning from the female above them.
Mm-hmm. This is what Rodrigo was mentioning at the beginning of conversation. He was mentioning that those are the muse. They are inspiring the man. This is another way to look at things. Yes.
Understood.
Because they are above them. He says they are above, and the men are like sitting in a lower position, and they are like hovering those ideas, and the muse. Yes. In a way, this is interesting because there are 2 ways to look at this. Either the muse come to a man and fertilize his mind, and then he can write a story or write notes, or opposite. There are 2 ways to look at things, at least 2, if not probably many more.
Eti,
Yes. Thank you, Victoria.
can you go?
Yes?
Can you go to the bottom of
Yeah.
the
The
picture,
second?
the second picture?
Yes,
Yes.
please. Yes.
Because we didn't look at these 4 men that we have
Yes.
in the right.
Yes.
We have like 4 Havrayas, maybe
Yeah.
Havrutas,
Yes.
or friends studying,
Yes.
and we have little birds like talking in his ears,
Yes.
like what we said before, that it's like the thoughts that they are receiving.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what you think about this
Like,
part of the picture.
yes, it's interesting that the bird, tzipor, has the same sound like samech and 1 second. I write the term here that we should be able. Tzipor is a bird. with vav or without vav, tzipor. If you write very similar sound, instead of ts, we write letter samech. It's like sefer, is to tell. In a way, the bird, tzipor, is telling. The bird, tzipor, הציפור, we say מצפרת או מספרת. Los bilbilicos cantan. So the bird sing or the bird is telling. Tzafra in Aramaic, tzafra, it means morning. Morning means light. Also sphere. Sefer, we have many verbs and nouns that are related to this root. Tzipor, sefer, lesaper, safir, lehair, because what does it mean? Lesaper, to tell, it's also to illuminate in Hebrew. When we tell a story, we illuminate another person's heart and mind. So tzipor, since the bird tweets in the morning, so in Aramaic we call the morning tzafra, because this is the time of which the bird is tweeting. From those tzaddik, when the tzaddik change into samech, we have sefer. Sefer is a book, or lesaper is to tell, or lesaper, or with a yod we have sapir, which is to illuminate. Lesaper, lehair, to illuminate. Sefer, sapir. Sefer is a book. Sefer is a book, but with additional letter yod. Sapir is to illuminate. To illuminate. So the bird here is like a sphere that illuminates the man's mind, meaning the inspiration comes through the bird. Does it make any sense?
Yes.
In a way, our minds are darkened. If the bird, the morning bird, which comes from heaven, will not illuminate the man's mind, and they could write a story or write any composition in music, everything will remain dark. So the morning, our morning as humans, is dependent on the bird.
Aneti,
Yes.
it is written poeti vel magi. I think that could be written as poetry, the poet, and the magi. It's magi. I think that is like I don't know, maybe a magician, but it's the same. It is the same root as magid, the one who
Magid.
tells story. So poetry and story and counting stories about the end of the world, maybe the infinite world. Pu mundo infinitum. I don't know if my translation is right, but certainly poet and magid, I think it is.
Yes. The poet and the Magid, they are telling us about the infinite, the infinite worlds, yes? This is what you're trying to say, that the poet and the Magid?
Yes.
Yes? Yes. It is this so beautiful. It is so beautiful.
Betty,
Yes.
I was reading the text, the chapter 2, verse 9,
Mm-hmm.
and I found some relations, and I'm afraid to be, how can I say, arbitrary relation, but I read a word and I make some relations on my mind, and I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes.
Um, if we get the verse 9, um, there is an expression, ve'et narotya,
Yes.
before letov. Um, Vaet, I remember the aot, the letters, the Hebrew letters.
Yes.
And the word narotya, I look to this word and I see, for example, the word nar,
Mm-hmm.
which means candle. I
Mm-hmm.
see the et, which is time, and I
Mm-hmm.
see the Yahoo. And it's interesting that we forget the word nar and the word it, the candle and the time, we get 720. And I just thinking about these words and see the letters or these arts, the seven maidens,
Mm-hmm.
could be candles that Yahoo put in time to us, to inspire us in
It
our
is.
deeds in time.
Yes, it's interesting because when I asked at the beginning of this conversation, what does the seven maiden uh, remind you of? Venus wrote menorah, and you say that seven, yes, seven candles or seven, yes, yes, yes. We could also think that the seven, and like Fernando was mentioning, this is the seven, the second creation, that the seven maidens are the seven openings of our in our face. This is a higher expression of this.
And in abstract level could be the seven letters, the seven, I don't know, couple letters or double letters.
Yes, yes. Beget kaparat. Yes, seven double letters. Yes, yes. This in infinite. Once we start to look into things and their relations, it's infinite. And many people are participating in this conversation, so we always have different angles, and we include the friend's idea about things, and we just broad our ability to discuss and circle topics. Yes. Questions?
Uh, just something else to point at.
Yes.
It's interesting that in this picture we see the even numbers as the feminine. Like we have this Sophia, this it's one to two, meaning one woman and two men
Which,
in the center.
1 second, you mean the second painting?
Yes, the
Yes,
second
yes.
painting.
Okay. So we see one Filo Sofia and two men. Yes.
Two men, like the relation one to two.
Yes.
And in the other circle we have these seven women,
Mm-hmm.
and below we see these four men. In a way, these seven also can represent the one, the return to the one, the Teshuvah and the seven and the Shabbat.
Yes.
And below we see these four men, and I was just thinking about these relations, 1 to 2 and 1 to 4. So and all of these beings, we have we have the sum of 14. So again, we have this relation 1 to 4, and it's just interesting because, in a way, the feminine aspect is the active in this realm. Is the 1, is the 7, and the masculine is in a way, I guess, the vessel. Is the 2. In the center, we see Plato and Socrates, and they are those vessels, those incredible vessels for the Filo Sofia. And even below, we see these 4 men receiving all this knowledge, represented by the Tzipor, or communicated by the Tzipor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just beautiful to see that we can relate everything that we talk about in the symbolic aspects. So and it fits so well,
Mm-hmm. It is
It's pretty nice that these.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yes, Philip, yes.
By all means, I was gonna only say a statement, but please go ahead.
Please, continue. I can wait.
Just quickly, only wanted to say it's nice to realize that these topics actually intertwine with each other too. I'm not sure if all of them, but I can see majority of them go hand in hand with each other
Yes.
as well. Just a quick comment.
Thank you. And just to how do you say, to answer Felipe, a remark about the men and the women. In this painting we see 4 men at the bottom and 2, Socrates and Plato, which makes 6, and 7 maidens. 6 plus 7 is 13, the value of love. And then comes Filo Sofia herself. This is 14s, or 1 to 4. It is beautiful. It is beautiful harmony between the numbers, and the relation between the 6th day and the 7th day. Because when the 6 stream to the 7, then we have love. The 6 plus 7 is 13. 13 is love, and 13 is also 1. And we see all of this here. Thank you, Felipe and Philip, Rodrigo, Fernando, friends, Venus, Victoria, Jeffrey. Thank you so much for this beautiful conversation.
Amazing, Eti. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I'm very happy that you have Monday's conversation in Brazil. It really makes me happy. And thank you for this story about Daniel Matt and this page that he found and he shared with you. This is a very beautiful story. Thank you so much.
I thank you. Thank you, friends.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day. And we can meet on Thursday if you have time. Thank you so
Great,
much.
Seti. I'll be here. Thank you very much. Shalom, shalom. See you on Thursday. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Shalom.